Good evening, everybody. Welcome to All Talk Paranormal Show. This evening, I have two co-hosts, two for the price of one. I have got Jess and David. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
And Jess and David are going to be your new hosts on the Shadow Chasers show. So this side of Christmas, we'll be doing interviews together. And then after Christmas, they will be going it alone on their new show. And anyway, getting on with this evening, we have fantastic Rob Thompson, trance medium. He is from the awesome show, The Ghost Finders. You should have seen him on our Festival of the Unexplained along with the rest of the team. And if you didn't, why didn't you? Just saying. Anyway, you haven't come on to listen to me waffle on, so I will bring him on. Please welcome Rob Thompson. Hello.
Hello. All right, Karen. Hello, Jeff. Hi, David. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hiya.
Thanks for having me back on. And now that you've had me back on, I'll let you have your kidney back.
Thanks.
So.
Hey, you have to do exchanges in this game. No, I'm joking. And how is it over the pond?
Across the pond, things here are, as a nation, pretty dire, and you know, it's. I'm not going to get political because I'll get in trouble. But I think there's a fantastic year ahead with a lot of opportunity. I'm a glass half full type of guy when I can be. And I think that everyone now has just got this like ray of hope, what with the vaccine and you know, therapeutics and stuff like that. But look, the thing is, it's been politicized, and propaganda here has cost people, well, tens of thousands, or maybe even 100,000 lives or more. You know, and you don't propagandize, you know, science, medicine, disease in a pandemic. You know what I mean?
No.
So if the sky's falling, people want to know it's falling. So I mean, I'll leave it at that. But there's a lot. It's going to be a very brutal Christmas for a lot of the world, developed world. You know, and I think that. As we come out of the other side of it, there's going to be this wonderful spiritual awakening, you know, like after Vietnam, you know, the flower power and you know, the peace and hope and love. I think it's going to really make us come out of the other side with a deeper understanding and attitude of spiritual awareness and hopefully love for our, you know, fellow man.
So let's talk about you, because obviously we love to talk about you. Can you tell everyone, which I'm sure everybody that's watching this at the moment already know anyway, but can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself there who may not know who you are?
Well, so there's probably a good chance that you don't, but you will. I am the executive producer and the host of The Ghost Finders, and that is a paranormal show that I started back in 2010. So this is our 10th year. We just put in the can our 10th season, 9 of which are viewable on everything from YouTube to Paranormal Reality TV, which is on Roku. That's the name of the channel, Paranormal Reality.
It's on quite a lot, but it's on quite a few, isn't it? You've got
And the newest season is actually on Amazon Prime and Apple TV and Android TV, and we're also on Roku. There's a channel on there called the Spirit Channel, but our more recent stuff, is on Amazon Prime, and it's free to all your Amazon Prime users. Like me, I'm an Amazonaholic. I'm not getting those mentions at all, so I'm not even getting free shipping. That's about it.
That's about it.
Bezos, I just gave you a plug. Come on. Right.
Yeah, because you, when you came on the festival, you were literally just about to drop the next episode.
You were scaring me there for a second. I was going to say, no, I took care of that before the interview. But it was. We had. When you're filming during a pandemic, because it's really kind of a lot tougher. It's we all had all the cast and crew when we were filming. We were filming one of the episodes, the spoiler, down in Fort Mifflin in Philadelphia, and I had everybody do COVID tests 3 days beforehand, and all got our negatives back in time. Some actually an hour before the shoot.
Wow, that was getting it fine.
Well, even despite that, I had everyone mask up and sterilize and social distance, and whatever you can possibly do, is all you can do. And it, thank goodness, thank God, it went really well. Actually, it's a great episode, and it's coming up in the new year. It'll be out in January. And we've got
because I was moaning last time that we had to wait so long in between. I remember now.
Yeah, it's well, so, and because we're all doing our own sort of things, especially like Daniel is at, gosh knows, more merrily, he is at dozens of cons around around the country. So getting our schedules all to match up when we can record a couple episodes. I mean, this past COVID, it's just been impossible, next to impossible. So instead of 8 episodes, which is going to would have been season 10, the pandemic has caused us to do it differently. We're doing 4 1-hour specials that are absolutely amazing. So there'll be, the one just came out. That was the premiere, the Winchester Mystery House. If you didn't catch that, then you should go to vidi.space and sign up. Get a free trial, check it out, and you're going to want to see more stuff. It's a great platform for paranormal programming that's not cable cookie. There's
a lot on there. There's so much content, and the thing is, you can pay on a monthly subscription, and if you just don't want to do it anymore, you don't have to subscribe for the year, do you? You can do it on a month-to-month thing as well. Yeah,
you can do it on a month-to-month thing. There's even a code, I think, that's still applicable for half off as well, which takes it down to $3.50. It's like £2.
Yeah, I saw that. I worked that out. I worked out how much it was from dollars to pounds, and I thought that is like just crazy. That's just nothing, really.
I know. That's for a month of stuff, and I mean, there are dozens of fantastic paranormal shows. Ours is on there too, by the way. It's called The Ghost Finders, and there's these great people on it. I mean, but one of our trademarks is to do things with a little bit of honey rather than vinegar. More flies with honey, not that spirits are flies, but our attitude, our hearts, and our intentions are, I think, the reason why we get the volume of findings that we do.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's about, and we talked about this before, it's about energy and everything, isn't it? Before I gabble on and don't let Jess and Dave get a word in edgeways, I know they've got some questions for you. Say hello to everybody in the audience. I have to give a shout out to your friend Dennis, Rob, because I'll be in trouble otherwise. My previous co-host Dennis.
Oh, Dennis.
He's on here. He did say he'd be watching, so I better give him a shout out so you can say hello to him, because I'll be in trouble.
He's a good bloke.
So I will Jess and Dave, I'll let you you can take
Right.
over.
Hi, Rob.
Hey, how's it going, Dave?
Question for you. When did your spiritual abilities become self-apparent?
My first memory of what I now know was my ability was I was about 7, and I was about 5 or 6 years old, and so my mother, who raised me single parent, and I were on. Well, it was like a working vacation. She was working. She was as a housekeeper, and they went up to Scotland. It was like upstairs, downstairs, or something like that. But they went up to Scotland, and we stayed up there, I believe, at Loch Lomond for a week. And there was this little bridge, and it got so dark. Me and my mother, we were wading through this marshy. I mean, everything was flooded. It was a great hot vacation. And we literally we couldn't see your hands over your eyes, which is unusual for Scotland, but the time of year we were there, it was black as the ace of spades. And I said, I just felt this voice in my head. Okay, turn to the left and skip. I turned to the left. Skip. My mother did the same thing. If I hadn't, we would have fallen off what turned out to be about 100-foot drop down into a loch. So I started to listen more to those little voices. I mean, at that age, I was like, okay, I'm either completely bonkers or I have an implant from Captain Kirk on the Starship Enterprise. Those are my two choices. And it turns out there wasn't an implant from the Starship Enterprise. But I started to listen more and more to that. And then at an age about, I don't know, it was a few years later, I just started thinking more and more and more about the things that were going on. People were visiting me. I was waking up as a child with a face in my face that I could see through. It looked like it was formed out of smoke. Just strange things. And then they started talking, and then they started realizing that they were understanding not what I was saying back, but what I was thinking back. And that was mind-bleak. So then I had an experience when I was about 11 that was mad. I literally watched a book flying across, not flying, I mean, it wasn't exorcist stuff. It was just, it popped down in the middle. Like, yep, that's perfectly normal. Yeah.
Have you ever had anything like, sorry to interrupt, have you ever had anything that's like really freaked you out?
Yes.
Like, like you're like, whoa. Because
that was my next question.
Was it? Oh, sorry, Jess.
Carry on.
Oops.
Oh, well. It was great speaking. No. Well, so I mean, that wasn't exactly your. It was done from the book that flies, isn't it? Yeah. That was like pretty scary. I mean, that was pretty scary.
But an 11-year-old, I should imagine it was.
Oh, bloody right, yeah.
But like, since you've been, I'll reword it then. Since you've been an adult, if you had anything that really freaked you out, there you go. That's better.
So yeah. I mean, not very many, but enough. And it's not why I do this. I'm not on some strange thrill seek to be pushed off a, balcony or off a bridge. Really, I think it all in all, one of my most terrifying events was about 8-9 years ago, and we were filming an episode up in Carbondale, Pennsylvania, at this old former nursing home, and I just got grabbed by the throat. I was being a little bit cocky. I went to help someone who was thinking that she was being pushed. I don't know what, but when I did, after that, about 60 seconds, 90 seconds after that, I started feeling my throat closing up, and it was like, it was weird because it felt like it was being closed from the inside, like a hand was inside my throat closing it up, and my eyes started to pop out. Heather was on the show for at that point about a year, and she was like freaking out because I mean, I was literally choking to death. I was no oxygen whatsoever, and I couldn't feel fingers. It was just constricted shut. And then I don't know if it was Heather or one of the crew. I think it was the cameraman started saying the Lord's Prayer. It was very Hollywood.
Yeah.
I mean, not going to lie. I mean, how could it not be? But all I can tell you is I'm obviously alive. That scared the bejesus out of me. I literally almost peed myself. And I fought on and carried on. We carried on filming, and it was not easy because once something like that happened to you, then you're like, your first instinct is to put as many miles between you and where that happened as you possibly can, as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Which would have, in the minivan that I was driving at the time, been about 6 miles in an hour. So I was like, okay, yeah. So that was if that answers it. And the short version of that answer is that was the most scary thing that happened to me. And then one of the other things that happened to me was very recently, which I was shoved at the Hinsdale house a few weeks ago, back and against the wall. Yeah.
Wow. No one, that would be a bit scary. Dan's actually on here. Dan's actually said hey to everyone.
Oh, I can't see any of the remarks.
Yeah, you can't see the comments. Yeah, Dan's on here. He's just said hello. Hey everyone. Dan. Mike Archer.
Oh, Mike.
Yeah, hashtag Team Billy Space.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And Shanna, which actually I interviewed her last Thursday.
Oh, Shanna,
yeah. She said, Rob, I can relate with your childhood experiences.
Yeah, and I mean, I took. Well, thank you. I mean, I only came out as a medium, like 2 or 3 years ago. Properly, I didn't. I was just too scared. I mean, I'm not gonna, sugarcoat it. I was just terrified of coming out, and that's why I'd always had previous seasons other mediums come on, because I don't know. I could not. It's a tough thing to come out, of the, out of the crystal ball, and that's just terrible. But yeah, no, I think that's a tough process for anyone. I think that schizophrenia, there are a lot of people diagnosed with schizophrenia who are actually very, very gifted mediums and don't even realize it themselves.
A lot of people are quite sensitive. We've had this conversation, haven't we, Jess? Jess and David, we've had this conversation a few times, haven't we, about sensitivity and experiences and not being able to explain them, and how it gets heightened and everything. Sorry, Rob, go on.
Yeah, no, so I'm sorry. Dave, what about you, mate? What would you say was really the most event that you've experienced?
I would say the most frightening experience was at a location, Shepton Mallet Prison.
That's where they live. Rob, it's where they live.
Yeah.
You're from my neck of the woods.
Shepton Mallet. Mhm.
Shepton
In
Mallet,
Somerset.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I lived in Bath for 3 years. Oh, never.
Oh wow,
That's
that's really
the West
yeah.
Country. I'm from Bath, Swindon, Bristol.
that's my
Wow.
original hometown.
That's Jess's
yeah.
hometown.
Is it, which one?
Wow.
Bath.
Bath? Oh God, I lived up. Well, I lived up by the Pulteney Bridge for a while, and I lived over. Anyway, we'll talk later. But so what happened at Shepton Mallet prison?
We went across to the workshop area where the public don't generally get a chance to go. There's been a lot of reports of shadow figures down in the basement area. So we were doing a few bits of investigating down there. All of a sudden, I was pushed in the back by an unseen force. And since that, I came out of there like really low, really depressed. I was crying for no apparent reason. I came away from the prison eventually, having a kind of a deep depression for about 4 days, which is not like me on a location at all. I don't get like that generally, not from an event. And it just made me feel really low, and not myself. And I was coming out with all sorts of different comments and things that I wanted to do to myself, which again isn't me. It was pretty strong down there. Jess did see the shadow. He was probably a good 6'5", maybe 7 foot in feet. And it's something that the prison don't kind of let out that much because they don't open it to the public, and we wasn't 100% sure what we were letting ourselves in for, to be honest.
Well, did you feel like on reflection, did you feel like you had an attachment?
I would say it was. Having never encountered anything so negative before, I would say it 100% was. I had no markings or nothing. It was just the general feeling of feeling depressed, quite low. I didn't want to get away from the place. I stepped out of the workshop area and I went back to the main part of the prison, and I just wouldn't leave. I didn't want to leave. I had people with me that Jess was trying to take me away from the prison. Again, but I didn't want to leave. I just wanted to stay. I felt like I didn't want to go home.
You didn't feel like that was he acting differently? Like he wasn't acting like himself then. He was acting like another person was sort of could well be an
very weird.
His mood just seemed a lot different.
Just shock. Then
yeah, I wasn't myself. Looking back on it, no, I'm not that kind of person. I wouldn't. I find myself quite a strong person when it comes to investigating the paranormal. I don't generally get scared of anything. Not in general. That is the only thing that I've ever experienced that I would say it really did frighten me, and I wouldn't go back down there.
Yeah, prisons are of course, people are put there for one reason, and that already makes for a beacon of negative energy, so I always feel such sadness, because of course in any prison there are people that don't belong there. There are people that are completely innocent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're also our favourite location.
Sorry, Dave.
It's all right. It's all right, Karen. There are favourite locations due to the activity that you do get, and there are quite a few prisons in England that you can visit that have a lot of action. But yeah, that one took me by surprise.
Definitely.
Wow.
Have you done it, Rob? Shepton Mallet?
No, so Shepton Mallet, I used to actually cycle to. Well, when I was a kid, I had a couple of friends in Shepton, one in Shepton Mallet, and then another one in Frome, and which are great Somerset towns. So this is before I had a motorbike, so I would cycle, and yeah, it was fond memories of that. Especially, well, I miss the hard cider, and I miss the cheddar cheese. I actually managed to special order here, so but
Yeah.
you can't get good scrumpy out here. Forget it. They don't know what cider is. Of course, I digress. But we're talking about Somerset, and
you saw about Somerset. We've gone from talking about a prison to cheese to cider. Changed very quickly.
My editor, Mark said to me, he was like, one thing I'm really glad about, Rob, and I was, what's that? And he was like, you left the West Country accent. Anyway, so he'd be like, all right then, so another episode of Ghost Finders, and we got right, mate, my lover, when was the last time you sorry, this last cake or three? But yeah, so
I don't even know. I've completely lost it now. I don't even know where we were at.
everyone's just like, this guy is off his
So we're up there, like we're doing this live for what? They'd be thinking, if anyone would just come on then, they'd be thinking, why are they talking about cheese and cider?
What the hell, Scrumpy? And no, so I do like to do prisons. We're actually, we did Eastern State Penitentiary in Philly, which is a prison, but a prison by definition is a place that you can't leave. You need a label. There are prisons that aren't. They're prisons. You can call it a state school. You can call it a hospital, whatever you want to call it. It's a bloody prison. And right.
Look at this.
It's like trying to leave the EU,
Dennis.
But yeah, so I find them very sad places as a medium. I find in the case of down in Spring City, in the case of Penhurst, it was really overwhelming because I walked in the door the first time. I can remember it like it was yesterday, and literally it felt boof. It was like it was like the reaction to Jason Momoa showing up for his autograph session at Comic-Con. Everyone was like, and yeah, I almost threw up. It felt so nauseous. It felt like, jumping into me. It was just like that show that used to be on called The Ghost Whisperer.
Ghost Whisperer.
Yeah, I can relate to that. One of the things that I've learned from some of the great mediums that I've made friends with over the last year or two is to focus more on shielding, and
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I would a little bit less haphazard into it these days, and tend to look out for number one a bit more, because it's a very invasive feeling, to be sort of spiritually raped, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know where you're coming from. I know what you're saying.
It can be terrifying and very unpleasant. And then other times it's just like, no, it's just, but you never know. And
you just don't know. Well, wherever you go anyway, you don't know until you get there.
Right.
Because we don't research, we don't look into places. We just kind of go and then find out what we feel and experiencing and go from there. And it's just kind of, whereas sometimes I guess with different investigators because they do the history and they do their research when they know kind of what they're going into in a way, because they know about the place, when they know about the building, whereas the rest of us that go in blind are totally the opposite.
Well, see, that's the thing, and then with the new episodes, season 10, we're really sort of listening a lot less to the sort of preconceived notions that are implanted by the very well-meaning, custodians, managers, property owners, whoever.
Yeah.
Now, okay. So here's the thing. I don't know why they're up north. But
I was going to say
over here. Oh, listen, you're gonna see little Billy. He's gonna show up with his book and his teddy bear, who's called Joey, and I'm like, whoa! Too bad you don't have any details. Like, no, don't ask. Okay. And I'm trying to really, honestly, because here's the thing. You want to have as clean a slate as possible.
Mm-hmm.
There are too many people that feel that mediumship, people who are a medium, that they feel like it's some kind of game show, okay, to the medium, okay?
Yeah.
We don't need validation. We don't need wrong answer. Is that your final answer? Yeah, it's old Uncle Des. No, Uncle Des is still alive. And you want to ask the audience? You got one more. No. Look, as a medium, your responsibility is just like anything else. You doing the best you can at trying to interpret what you're seeing or hearing. And sometimes that's not a whole lot you're given to work on. It can be an imprint of an image. It can be someone right next to you that's showing, the top half of himself or her. And it could be gibbering, in your ear or all the above. So obviously as a medium, all you can do is try and
you just give what you get. That's what I always say.
I try and decode it. Yeah, you sort of really interpret it the best you can and relay that the best you can. Is it going to be someone just bang on every detail? No, and it doesn't matter, and it doesn't offend me if I'm wrong, and it shouldn't offend the people that I'm reading. It might be frustrating for the spirit.
Yeah.
No.
Damn,
not Des. Yeah, I've seen that. Actually, that where I've said, something to an individual on the team, and spirit is like,
No, what are you talking about? That's not what it said. Yeah.
Yeah, and
You're only human.
Well, I'm partly human anyway.
Well,
Partly.
partly. But what I'm saying it is a case of give what you get, and it's not for us to interpret what they're telling us.
Right.
We are there as the spokesperson, as the mouthpiece between the two worlds, in just give the living.
Right.
That's the way I explain it. If anybody asks me, whatever, that's how I explain it to people: is we are the go-between.
Because I've been at other mediums, gallery readings and stuff, and I've heard people in the audience saying, "Oh no, we got that wrong. No, it was it was Janet, not Jenny." And I'm just like, get it wrong. It's not about getting it wrong. You misread something.
Interpretation, mishearing or interpretation.
Yeah, it's very easy to criticize if you're not the one trying to make sense of what you're seeing or hearing or showing as a medium. So I take my hat off to all mediums out there, and if you're in the closet, out of the closet, wherever you are, however, whatever stage of development you are at with this amazing gift, I salute you because it's something that's very much needed now more than ever.
Yeah. Yeah, more especially now. We've got a comment from Dan. He says, "I said like the color red, not red. Damn it, Rob."
Yeah, he's a bugger. You know, he's always I can see him smiling now, and he's always sort of taunting. Our relationship is sort of a little bit funny on set. It might be actually a good spin-off show that Rob and Dan taunting at each other show.
Yeah, but you've got to have that.
It's
You've
like
got to have that bit of.
It's camaraderie, yeah, and it's essential to have that, And it's like, Spock and McCoy, if you will. And the same with Megan. Yeah, same with Megan. She'll be like, Rob, you got a bat in the cave, before you start rolling. And I'm like, she's like, oh.
Rob?
She'll be like, oh, Rob, I'm going for a 1025 or a 1038. I'm like, is that a new, new candy bar? And no, that's going for a big one or a small one off, and code. And
We've gone off again.
Well, because sorry.
Go on, Jess. What were you
You think I have ADHD by any possible?
Go on.
I was going to say, since living in the States, have you been back to England to visit at all and do any investigations?
God, you know what? The plan last year, life happens when you're busy making other plans. The plan was to actually have filmed 2 episodes over there this year, and see all my family. So I haven't been back in years, and so that was shelved, of course, by all of this that's going on now. So that now moves up to 2021.
Yeah.
So one of my projects that I'm going to be involved with takes me actually to England. It looks like I might be there after not being there for 9 years, being there 2 or 3 times in 1 year. So I'm looking forward to it. I do miss it. Yeah, I miss the UK a lot. So especially the weather.
He wants to come for an Eddie breakfast. That's what it is, Jess, David. That's what he wants to come. Because Dennis invited the whole of the Ghost Finders over to my house. The last. Yeah, remember, Rob? Yeah.
Do I remember? I've got it written down.
Yeah, Dennis stayed with us. So.
What's that, Jess? David?
Yeah, we need to try this breakfast. It sounds very nice. It looks very nice too by the picture.
We're cut from the same cloth, mate. We're West Country people, and then no, it's something I'm really looking forward to, and that's why I'm also looking forward so much to this great event.
Go on then, Jess. What are you going to say?
Another question.
Otherwise,
what was your most What was your most scariest experience?
Oh, that's right. She took your question, didn't she, earlier?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I took
that one
the
earlier,
question.
actually.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Well, paranormal related.
Yeah.
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 Well, I suppose you could say that this is paranormal related. On my second trip to Egypt, back a long time ago.
You've been in a lot of countries, haven't you? That was something that Dennis said about earlier.
Done a bit of globe trotting around the old, rock, and I actually collapsed while in a like a market, like a bazaar. It was a bazaar, and heat exhaustion, and I woke up bouncing up and down in the back of a Toyota pickup truck going through the desert with a friggin' IV in my arm, and the only first thing I thought of when I woke up was like, am I dead and this is it, or is this ride go on forever? It's just like
Yeah.
And another thing, then I blacked out again, and I woke up, and I was looking at this. It was this makeshift doctor's surgery place, and it was literally wattle and daub, like from the 1500s on the walls. And there was this little gecko, and he was looking like, literally, we were looking at each other, and he said, "I could save you a ton of money by switching your car insurance to Geico." No.
He's going off subject again.
No, but apparently my heart had stopped at some point during. Go on, keep on laughing. And I'd coded, which is terrifying, because I don't even think this guy had a defibrillator. I mean, this was really middle of nowhere. This wonderful guy and these great team of people that I was traveling with through Egypt just saved my life. So I was very grateful for that. That was the most terrifying thing I've ever. And kind of paranormal, dying, coming back, kind of.
It was a near-death experience, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
and so that was definitely one of them. Another one. I'm going to tell you about that one. That was just, too dark. Yeah.
Any other questions you got there, Jess?
What location have you been to that has made you want to go back?
Well, gosh, that's a long list right there. That is. Okay, so wow.
Okay, have you got a favourite location to make it easier?
A favorite location I could go back to. Some people say, "Oh, you can't go back to the same location more than once."
Yeah, you can.
But I would say I have this bizarre fascination with. There's two places. There's definitely two, I would say, top places. One is Penhurst, but I think that the icing on the cake really for me is the Hinsdale house. And I know, and I'm not saying that because Dan, the owner, is on the show.
If you look at the bottom of the screen here, Dennis has put Hinsdale House, surely. So he's answered your question. He's answered the questions for you tonight. You
could have put money on that. I mean, just size doesn't matter, in the paranormal realm. I'm going to be a bit saucy, but I mean it. It's a small farmhouse, beautifully renovated, and it's just got. It's like a big paranormal onion. It's got layer after layer after layer after layer after layer of history of all these people that have lived there, and all these crazy things that have happened, not just in the house but on the land. And it's one of those places that you want to go back to. It gave me that lump in my throat, sort of pit of your stomach feel, seeing it the first time. And then seeing it again.
But after you do a paranormal investigation, how do you unwind? That's a good question. I never really think to ask anybody that.
Well, thank you for your question. And hello. I think if it's not sort of worst case scenario, in other words, and I say that because a lot of the times we're finished filming, it can be 4 a.m, but we'll have a few, bevies if it's not too late after filming, and once we get back.
Too late is never too late. You come back to this now. It doesn't matter what time you come back.
Yeah.
There's going to be a can going out of the fridge. Potentially, maybe a bottle of wine.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's true. They got to do some spirits after checking out those spirits, but it's almost like for example, a few shoots ago, I forget where we were. It's all melted into one, and we weren't done till God, we were tearing down at like 3:30. We got back at the hotel at like 4:15 in the morning, and Stan's like, so, couple babies in my room. I'm like, what? Dunkin' Donuts? And okay, it's breakfast time. No, but he'll yeah. I mean, he's like an ox. He just keeps on going and going and going and going.
Oh, after see, I need to know about these things ready for next year for when he comes over. I need to find out what if he's a bit of a nightmare or not. You see, and if you need to give him a curfew.
Well, all of his American Irish quote unquote bravado. Okay, he never encountered the scrumpy pint. Scrumpy pint. Where after the first,
He's
nice.
second pint, and you can't feel your legs. Third pint, and you're anybody's. Fourth, and but like, so that's Dan. No, but so I like to have a couple beers. A long-winded answer to that.
Long story short, you have to have a couple of beers when you get home.
For God's sake, get to the point. Oh
What
my
about you,
God.
Jess? What do you two do when you get back from an invest? Go to bed.
Go to bed. Yeah, it's the first thing we do. So it depends. I mean, if we're on a right the way through, I mean, we was on that one at Chapter once. We've done a complete night where we didn't sleep at all. We just went right the way through. But yeah, I had a bit of a paranormal hangover.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you get that, Rob?
Do I get paranormal hangovers?
Yeah.
I think my paranormal hangover is on the way home when I'm like, what was I thinking? 12-hour drive, 3 hours sleep and a shitty breakfast. So I think that's my paranormal hangover. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, but really, I think for me, one of the things that I love is to be able to get there the day before and then actually see the place with no pressure, no, it's going to be in shot, you're going to be stood here, you're going to say that, it's just doing your own thing at a place the day before. And that doesn't happen very often, or the day after. But I have a 3-year-old and she keeps us on our toes. And so that affects that as well. She would tell you all kinds of things about ghosts.
Oh.
All right. Lily would tell you, she's also got my ability, a lot stronger.
Wow.
And since she was 6 weeks old, she's been traveling the country with us and, in haunted locations. And so I think ghosts are probably more scared of her. It's just really, she's my little nubbins. But yeah, it's definitely a hangover that I love.
We've had, I'm going to put this up because I think it's really important for Libby. You'll see why. Libby said, I had to bounce out earlier when David was talking about the prison and the depression. I have the kind of same problem in my home. I know there is something in my home causing this. How do you ever come out of it? Or come over this?
Well, luckily for me, it literally only lasted 4 days. I did try everything. I cleansed myself, salt baths, crystals. And it's just lucky that I managed to shake it off. I don't know what I would have done because I've never ever experienced anything like that.
Any advice, Rob?
Megan has on several occasions and almost always we'll do a ritual say a few words. It varies from place to place and situation to situation. But I mean, it can be as simple as you know, if you believe in in God, saying the Lord's Prayer, saying a few words. It can be as simple as saying, thank you for opening the line of communication. I'm closing it now. Bless you. Thank you. And although I send you my love, you may not follow me onward from this place. And that's important for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
I think I wear charms. See, bringing out my West Country accent there, guys. Over my aunt, so we do, and they help. I got black tourmaline in there. I've got tiger's eye, and some other things.
I recognize that.
Also, help protect a great deal.
I think it might be a good idea. She does a cleansing of her house, some palo santo. Because like she said, she hasn't. I don't know whether this is from somebody that's followed her home or something to do with where she lives or the house or whatever. But she said that this has been going on quite a while now. The depression gets bad. I've been tripped and she's been scratched, and this is all going on in her house.
Right. Well, so I would suggest, dear, that one of the first things is that you take some white sage and you burn it from top to bottom, room to room, backing yourself out, landing to door to corner, and then open the front door, let it out, leave it out, and I think you'll find, and sometimes it takes 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
I always do that when I move into a new place. I don't obviously do that when I'm investigating a location, because the last thing that you want to do is banish a spirit or make it an environment that's difficult to work in. Selectively, I would say to wear charms, to wear black tourmaline is a really, really, really good one.
Is it hematite's another one, isn't it?
Hematite is another. Rose quartz, same thing. And that'll help. Yeah, and that'll help keep you safe. And then really just lots and lots and lots of positivity, positive music, positive vibes. When you open your mind, when you wake up in the morning, positive, and cut out from your life energy vampires and people who are constantly got drama, negative. You have to take a step back, though you may love those people, and say your influence upon my life is affecting my life in a negative way. So I have to minimize. Think of number one. Think of you and your family. So negative people, cut those out of your life. Try and raise your emotional, your spiritual vibrations. Think good things, happy, positive. Good things are ahead of me.
Positivity breeds positivity, doesn't it? So
you reap what you sow. Yeah, absolutely. And so that good energy will come back at you. And honestly, when I feel the shittiest, one of the things that I do is I'll just go and help someone, like go dig the snow out of the neighbor's yard, or just go do some great stuff, paying forward for whatever. There doesn't need to be a reason, but that can make you feel so much better about the world, because you're making a positive change in it. So and don't be afraid as well. I'm sorry, love, I forgot her name. Libby is to not be afraid to close your eyes and call on a relative that is very likely your spirit guide, your Archangel Gabriel, Michael. Call on your angels. Whatever your belief system. It can be a relative that has passed. and call on them for help. It will come. It will come.
And if
Can I just ask? Sorry.
yeah, go on.
Got it. With Rob, do you use equipment on investigations? And if so, have you got a favourite piece?
Yeah. So, I mean, we've got an insane complement of equipment between you know, the show, my own personal stuff. Dan, you know, has like a warehouse. So you know, to cart it around, you know, it's not, you know, taps. We don't need to have this big spectacle of all these tables laid out going back and forth, you know, as those days, you know. But so it's more about quality and relevance. So you really, you know, we bring them all pretty much, and we'll take 2 or 3 pieces with us. You know, I'll take 1, maybe 2 pieces. Dan often has, you'll see him on the show with his Geobox or Geoport, and you know, and for, you know, Megan, the same thing. We're trying to mix it up a little bit too, because of course we're trying to do a 3-pronged approach, you know, the spiritual, metaphysical, and technical approach. So we try and mix it up a little bit, and you know, my own personal favorite. That's a good question. You know, really, my favorite, I have to say, so far, is called the PMB, the Paranormal Music Box.
Oh,
I like that.
yeah.
And our sponsors had to. Our sponsors, who are GhostHuntersEquipment.com, Ghost Augustine.
Yeah, I've seen them. I've shared their stuff. That's because of you, because of the conversation we've had previously.
Right. Yeah. So.
Do they ship to the UK, Rob?
Huh?
Do they ship to the UK?
Yes, they ship worldwide, and you know what? The prices are good, and but more importantly,
Sorry, I don't promo for them now, but you know, it's worth asking.
Honestly, Jonas, the owner, one of the owners, brought that piece of equipment to our attention last season, because they sponsor us and provide all of our paranormal equipment last couple of seasons. And what I like about it is the simplicity of it. And that is, what I mean by that is, for example, if a spirit from the 1700s isn't going to see this, what looks like a tricorder out of Star Trek Discovery, you know, bleep, 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 and you know, they're going to see this cute little music boxes. Music boxes have been around for hundreds of years, you know, and so it's very unintimidating. It's just not intimidating at all. Plays a nice little tune. No negative connotations, no negative, or should I say false positives on this, because it doesn't use radio waves. It uses sonic, ultrasonic beam, okay, which you set it down, you calibrate it, and a few seconds later, it's good to go. And the only thing that's going to make that thing start playing Simon and Garfunkel, Hello Darkness, My Old Friend, is either a solid object breaking that beam, something breaking an ultrasonic beam. So that's why I love it so much. The simplicity of it. It gives you a pit of the feeling stomach. You know, it's so reliable that when it goes off, it's not about, was that an answer, or was that John on his walkie-talkie, or was that, you know, Mike on his you know, cell phone, because it can. So yeah, that's
you've got all those extra bits of kit that you don't actually take, the crew do. So you suppose you've got to think about that as well.
Also, and so, you know, without looking like, you know, Rambo with the pockets and stuff all hanging out of, you know, I'd rather have 1 or 2 pieces of great equipment that I know how to use and trust than I would, you know, trying to cart it all around from room to room, floor to floor.
Yeah, that's the problem we find.
Definitely.
Well,
Another question.
go on. Sorry, Jess. I was going to just go
No,
ask this.
no, carry on. Go for it.
Our Jolene's popped on. I've got to stop saying that. I don't know why I keep saying pop on and pop off. I don't know why. I randomly keep saying it lately for whatever reason. Anyway, going off on a tangent. She said, Rob, how does investigating in the USA differ from the UK?
Hi, Jolene. I said hello to we were talking earlier this morning. Yeah. So, well, how it really doesn't differ a whole lot. You know, gotta think. If you think about it, I'm not just saying this because I'm British, but you know, Most Haunted came out in the 80s. Sorry, Evie. It's a long time ago, and you know, it's still going. So, as I know, we really kind of pioneered a lot of, not that you know that there wasn't interest here and there wasn't happening here then, but as far as TV shows, you know, we really were the first country to really sort of get into the you know, on location investigating and shooting investigations. So I think, you know, it's influenced back and forth with the shows that now are watched, you know, whether they're American, British, or whatever. I think our styles have become closer and closer. I don't know about differences. I do hear the words evidence here a lot more than I do, you know, in Europe. And that's fine. That's good, well and good. You know, I'm not, who am I to say, you know, you know, your terminology is what your terminology is. But in terms of the practical way of investigating, the means and the style of investigating, I don't see a whole lot of differences that I could put my finger on between, you know, investigators here and in the UK. They're all good, you know, and I know, you know, some people that are really, you know, been in this field for a very, very, very long time, and some of them that don't even watch paranormal shows because they're so busy, you know, out there doing it. Dan is one of them. But no, British, American, New Zealand, someone in Sweden wanted us to go to this old castle this coming year. I'm sure their style of investigating is very similar. So, hope that answers.
Go on, Jess.
Good. I was going to ask, have you ever been physically marked by a spirit?
Physically marked. Well, there was an incident that, gosh, this was about 10 years ago. This was right at the beginning when we first started filming Ghost Finders, and I had a scratch on my shoulder, like through my shoulder blade back to the back / round about here. I know it wasn't anything else. There just wasn't anything else. So it was either the cameraman pranking me, which I don't think would have, you know, because it had a pin. It was just literally what it looked like. It was just like a what do you call it? You know, one of those like pins that you get 560 of in a shirt when you buy it.
Yeah.
You know, and it had just gone like that. Because I was like, what? And that was honestly nothing as exciting or as juicy as that. I mean, if you think about you know, some of the things that can happen to a person when they're doing what we do, you know, so nothing. I mean, I've been pushed like a few weeks ago. I was pushed at the Hinsdale house. Nothing really dramatic. I haven't had my eyeball knocked out. I haven't had my ear ripped off.
Not yet.
still a few years to go yet. You never know. And what about you, mate?
Jess, you've a couple of times, haven't you?
Yeah, 3 times. I'm still unsure on what they actually mean. Why?
What was it?
Yeah, 3
What happened?
times.
Scratched?
One I had when, yeah, they were all 3 scratches. One I had 3 scratches. The second one was like an angled cross, and the third one was on the back of my neck. Just 1 scratch, wasn't it?
Yeah, one scratch went across the back.
Across the back of my neck.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But yeah, and I hadn't done anything to provoke it. Nothing.
Yeah, and I think that's so.
Weird.
That's another thing. That's so. That other show from years ago, American show. You know, the whole antagonization, the whole provocation thing is just so tired and so disrespectful and done, and you know, so. But it never ceases to amaze me when people do that, and then things go wrong. Can't imagine why. You know, it's about, again, it's about energy. It's about what you put out there, and that's one of the things I love about the spiritual, the community, the paranormal community worldwide, is that they're tight. They're there for each other. If someone needs something, if someone is down, whatever it is, if there's, you know, a church needs saving, if there's a fund for this, you know, if there's, you know, a way that they can help, they will, and they're there like that. Such a tight community. I mean, so you can take your stamp collecting community and your, you know, model aircraft community and all the rest, but paranormal all the way, baby. You know, and that's the thing I love most about what I do, and that's the traveling, getting to travel and meet these fantastic people.
Joe has another question. Half of it we already asked you, so I only asked you half of their question. Sorry, Joe. What experiments do you prefer to do?
So, experiments. Well, you know, one of the things that I've been intrigued by are trigger objects. You know, over the years, it was one of my favorite things. Whether something will create a ripple effect, for example, us dressing as we investigate in period clothing, whether it be through raising the vibrational energy, and creating also a ripple effect, both in one by an old world troubadour in period clothing, you know, playing the lute, like my good friend John Durant. You know, can I don't see how that cannot have a ripple effect, not have a positive outcome, because you're giving, you're showing up and you're giving. First thing, not show yourself, oh, come here now, and all, you know, it's the very first thing, gift giving ritual. Look, wow, they're different. Wow, they are different. Look, they're giving us something, and oh, they're playing us some music. So yeah, I like to experiment, and experimenting by giving, and having no expectations. But
yeah, that's a big one, isn't it? Going somewhere without expectations.
Right. Absolutely, and no you know, preconceived notions about, you know, we're going to get this or oh, we get that. It's not about sensation. It's not about the ego of you know, whoever. It's about, the show is, in fact, we're vehicular. The show is about the spirits, right? Yeah. So yeah, my experiments would be, you know, related to those. My favorite experiments are related to what we can give as a positive energy, to hopefully establish a more solid and trustworthy connection with spirit, and it's all about trust.
It is. I'm sorry to say, we've been well, going for over an hour already. I don't know where the time has gone.
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone to me talking about bloody cider and
Cider,
Super
cheese, and goodness knows what else.
It always goes so quickly. You are Karen, the greatest, and Jess and David. We're gonna chug a few down at that.
Yes. So leading on, going back to 2021, there. Just to make your life a little bit easier, you are chomping at the bit to say something. So, guys, we have an exclusive for you all, and it's to do with drum. I haven't got drums. Drum roll. 2021 event. So, Rob, how many times are you coming to the UK next year? And is there any particular reason why you're coming to the UK apart from filming and so on? What might it be? Would you like to tell everybody?
Well, so yeah, in September there's this fantastic Paracon called the Festival of the Unexplained, which Karen won't have mentioned at all.
No, not once.
No. And I am absolutely thrilled to be attending that. Really looking forward to attending my first Paracon in back home in Blighty in the UK, and I shall be, and Dan will also be there.
Dan will also be there. So just want to say, so there we go. That is an exclusive. For those of you that are watching, Rob has not been announced. He is going to be announced after this live, but those of you watching have found out first.
Yeah, and thank you for the, very flattered to be invited, and really looking forward to coming back home and meeting some of my countrymen. And
so not only have we got, like you said, we've got two of the ghost finders coming now. So we've got Dan and we've got Rob. So there you go, guys. Exclusive for you all. We better get that announcement sorted out for you now, Rob.
Yeah, I know. And Heather make sure that everyone in the world knows about that.
I'm sure she will, because she is absolutely amazing. And just to give Heather a shout out as well, not only is she just a wonderful woman, because she is your wonderful woman, but those of you that weren't on at the beginning, this, I don't know which way it is, that way, that fantastic logo there by Rob's head was, other side
that way.
was, wow, that's it, that logo there, that's the one, was designed by the one and only Heather. So we've got her to thank for that, and it's absolutely amazing. It's a very, very talented lady.
Thank you. She is. She's a real. She's. What can I say?
She's fantastic. And so I'd like to say thank you to Heather for doing post. Thank you so much for the coming on and talking to us, Rob.
Oh,
it's very much appreciated.
Entirely mine. You guys are the absolute bee's knees, and you, Rob, Jess, and Dave. Can't wait to. Really looking forward to getting you inebriated, and getting you inebriated.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Festival's going to be a killer. Can't wait, and looking forward to talking with you soon.
I've just chopped you all off.
Oh,
I've just cut everybody off. Sorry. Very rude. Sorry about that. I do apologise. Didn't mean to press that. So yeah, I'd like to say thank you, Jess. Thank you, David. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to everybody for watching, and we'll see you all soon. Sunday night is Sunday night, Shadow Chasers first official show.
Looking forward to it.
7 o'clock Sunday night, they will be interviewing Kieran Woodhouse, which is actually presenter of the Collective Conspiracy Show, one of our other shows, which is on Keep On Chatting. So I hope you can all join them and show them some support on their first official show. Thank you again, Rob. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, David.
Thank you very much
for having me on.
That's all right. It's goodbye from Rob and goodbye from Jess and Dave.